Streaming on clickorlando.com and broadcasting live, you're watching News 6 at noon.
Now at noon, plans to connect State Road 417 to the Orlando Sanford International Airport in the works. Why not everyone is happy with the route. But first, brand new details about the man accused of setting the deadly wildfires in Southern California earlier this year. That man faced a judge this morning. The wildfires claimed the lives of a dozen people and destroyed nearly 7,000 homes in January. News 6's Mark Lehman was in court this morning. Mark, what can you tell us about what happened?
Well, that hearing lasted for more than an hour and a half, and during that time, we learned many new details about run-ins with the law that Jonathan Rendershit had with law enforcement before his arrest. Now, those coupled with other concerns were enough for the judge to decide that he will remain in custody while awaiting trial. Just within the last 30 minutes, we were... Can you speak to us about your brother?
Right, we appear
arrest. But during the hearing, we learned he was staying at his sister's home in Melbourne, and in the last few weeks, police were called there twice. First for an argument with his brother-in-law on September 17th, when he allegedly said he would burn the house down, and again on September 25th, when he said he purchased a gun and would use it in self-defense against his sister's husband. Now, no arrests were made then, but on October 7th, a warrant was served after authorities said he was responsible for the fire that eventually killed 12 people and destroyed thousands of homes and businesses in the Pacific Palisades. During the arrest, authorities did a search of his sister's garage, and they say they found that firearm that was mentioned in that previous call to the home, and that firearm was found zipped up inside a stuffed animal. Now, today's hearing, prosecutors also spoke about the family's concern about the declining mental state of their brother, and for those reasons and others, as well as the evidence that was collected from prosecutors during the investigation, the judge decided that he will remain in custody of the U.S. Marshals while awaiting trial. Now, there was also another hearing that was scheduled for today, but that has been waived. At this point, no other hearing has been scheduled in his case. For now, reporting live in Orlando, Mark Lehman, News 6.
Mark, thank you. Now to more breaking news. A lockdown at a Brevard County school just lifted. It happened at Space Coast Junior and Senior High School. The school district confirms a suspicious person was spotted near the campus. One person was taken into custody. We have a crew on the way to gather more information, and we'll bring you more updates as we get them. Turning to your forecast now as we take a live look from our camera in Daytona Beach, where it is rough along the coast. Chief Meteorologist Candace Campos is here. And Candace, we are talking about rough surf and some flood advisories as well.
Exactly. And now we're adding rain on top of it, Julie, throughout the afternoon. We're going to continue to see this chance for rain continuing to stream in. Now, where we do get some of that rain, it will come down pretty heavy at times. So, of course, it won't be an all-day rain, but in and out. And that's exactly what we've been experiencing along our coastline, especially from Flagler through Volusia County. Right now, Port Orange, Flagler Beach, currently seeing some of those scattered showers. We're going to continue to see a lot of that rain work its way from east to west. Right now, we're Pearson, DeLand, Orange City, and Deltona, now kind of on the back end of that one batch. We have another batch of rain making their way into Umatilla, Tavares, the Villages, into Coleman and Bushnell, though, within the next 30 to 45 minutes or so, and a little further south into Brevard. Again, this has been the story for the past several hours. Off and on showers, and those will continue throughout the day, all as a cold front continues to approach the area. You can see a little further south in Osceola County, some of those fast-moving scattered showers, and they're fast-moving because of our strong breeze right now, still picking up between about 25 to 30 miles per hour. And like Julie just mentioned, the coastal flood watch that we have is not for fresh water falling from the sky. This is actually all induced by our winds and our high tides, or abnormally higher than normal tides. So road closures, beach erosion will be a possibility for a couple of days as a coastal flood watch remains in effect for all of Flagler, coastal Volusia, and coastal Brevard County, at least until about Saturday. So your rain chances, again, higher along our coast where we're seeing the bulk of the rain. Rain chances taper off a little further as we head further inland, but then as we head into Friday, we're watching a tropical low possibly develop along that cold front, and that is going to add even more rain also to the coastline. We'll have more details, though, on what happens when all the rain finally moves out and cooler air settles in for your weekend. Julie.
Candace, thank you. New at noon, 6 people in Orlando have been forced out of their home by a fire. It happened early this morning around 2:30 on Flores Court. That's northwest of where John Young Parkway and I-4 meet, right behind Carver Middle School in Orlando. The Orlando Fire Department posted these pictures on social media. They say it was a single bedroom fire. Crews made their way in and quickly put the fire out. Thankfully, no one was hurt, and the fire did not go beyond the bedroom. OFD goes on to say that the Red Cross is helping 5 adults and a child. Now to Kissimmee, where investigators are trying to figure out what sparked a fire that badly damaged a home there. Take a look at these pictures from the fire department. You can see the flames just shooting from that house. This happened yesterday east of the Turnpike, north of Fortune Road. Crews believe the fire may have started in the garage and then spread to both the first and second floors of the house. Firefighters were able to contain the fire, and everyone inside made it out safely. The man accused of hitting and killing a pedestrian on a busy road in Apopka is set to face a judge. We were on the scene not long after this happened yesterday morning on East Main Street, right near Midland Avenue. Police say the victim is an adult woman. They're not saying anything else about what happened, only that the suspected driver, Jeremy Gonzalez, was arrested on charges of negligent manslaughter. For now, he's being held without bond in the Orange County Jail. A major decision today could change how drivers get to Orlando Sanford International Airport. The Central Florida Expressway Authority just voted on a preferred route for a new connector to the airport. News 6's Angie Casada shows us what was decided and why not everyone is celebrating.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion passes.
The Central Florida Expressway Authority making it official, approving Route 2A as the preferred option for a new 2-mile connector linking State Road 417 directly to Orlando Sanford International Airport. After more than a year of studying 5 different routes, CFX says 2A strikes the best balance, improving access while limiting impacts to homes and the environment.
Where we find ourselves with economic development as well as the development of the community itself and our international airport is, if this does not move forward now, it'll never happen. It'll be total gridlock in this area.
The project was first studied back in 2007, but put on hold until Seminole County asked CFX to revisit it in 2022. The goal, cut traffic on local roads like East Lake Mary Boulevard and help travelers find the airport faster.
Huge. Sooner the better. Sooner the better. People from out of town, I know that they're no different than I am, maybe even people from the other side of Orlando. They don't fly out of here typically, and it's very hard to find.
But not everyone is on board. Some nearby residents worry about losing their homes or land, since the route could cut through part of a residential area.
We know it impacts people. We're sorry that it impacts folks, but typically, financially, these residents come out much further ahead.
The next step, design and environmental reviews, which CFX says will take several years before any construction begins. Reporting in Orange County, I'm Angie Casada, News 6.
New at noon, the state education commissioner is sending a letter to all 67 school district superintendents. This is in response to how the Seminole County School District handled concerning comments from an employee. We first told you about this yesterday. Last month, a paraprofessional at Sable Point Elementary self-reported that he was so frustrated with a 6-year-old student, he thought about cutting her throat and even carrying out a school shooting. That employee quit, but parents were upset that they weren't told for days about what happened. Florida's education commissioner posted on X saying in part, quote, "Safety in our schools is non-negotiable. Every individual hired to work in a Florida school must undergo thorough employment history checks before stepping foot on campus, and parents must be immediately notified anytime an employee is a threat to campus safety." We will have that letter by the education commissioner posted on our website for you, clickorlando.com. Israel and Hamas are a major step closer to ending their 2-year-long war after reaching a deal. President Trump announced last night what he called the first phase of an agreement, and this morning met with his cabinet. CBS's Natalie Brand has more details from Washington.
From Hostage Square in Tel Aviv to the streets of Khan Yunis in Gaza, an outpouring of joy and relief as Israel and Hamas have agreed to the first steps to end the war.
Peace for the Middle East. It's a beautiful phrase, and we hope it's going to come true.
President Trump celebrated the breakthrough, speaking last night by phone to a group of hostage families.
The hostages will come back. They're all coming back on Monday.
Loved ones say their healing cannot begin until all the hostages come home.
The president says in phase 1 of the plan, Israel will withdraw its troops to an agreed upon line, and then all remaining hostages, including the deceased, will be released in coming days. Israel will also release some Palestinian prisoners.
The administration is hopeful the initial ceasefire provides momentum for achieving a lasting peace, but challenges remain, including whether Hamas will disarm and how Gaza will be governed. Palestinians celebrating the news say they just want the bloodshed to end. While strikes by Israel continue today, its parliament is meeting this morning to vote on the deal and start the clock on the ceasefire. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Washington.
It was once a sundown town. Now the Central Florida city is looking to rename a subdivision known as Colored Quarters. Coming up, how the city is looking to ensure that everyone is welcome in the community.
Introducing the new $25 million Gold Rush Multiplier Scratch-Off from the Florida Lottery.
One Central Florida city is changing the name of a subdivision referred to on old maps and documents as the Colored Quarter. 115 years after it was recorded into its history, St. Cloud is set to give a new designation. Your Osceola County community correspondent Stephanie Rodriguez is in St. Cloud with the details.
Founded in 1909, the city of St. Cloud began as a retirement community for Civil War Union veterans. While the people who settled it fought to end slavery, equality was a long ways away. For much of its early history, it was a sundown town. In January, the city denounced that past.
It was just the way things were back in the day. that people of color just were not welcomed on the streets after sundown. And of course, that's not who the city of St. Cloud is anymore.
Now it's focusing on the colored quarter.
The land that we're looking at runs between Narcoossee Road and Pine Lane and from 192 to 10th Street. So it's a little kind of rectangular square plot of land that have about 34 houses that are built in that area.
On October 8th, 1910, this part of St. Cloud was named the Seminole Land and Investment Co. Plat of Colored Quarter.
115 years and 1 day later, the city will officially remove and replace the word colored with East.
The city believes the word colored is an ethnic or racial slur, and the best thing to do is change it.
This is 2025. It was time to update that. And it's just, continuing to make sure that our residents and our community understand that St. Cloud is a place that is welcoming to all of our residents.
Stephanie Rodriguez, News 6.
Time to get a check of our forecast. We'll start you out with a really pretty shot there. That is our Launch Credit Union camera out there at Port Canaveral. Chief Meteorologist Candace Campos is standing by. And Candace, we're seeing a lot of quick moving showers today, dumping some rain out there.
Speedy showers across Central Florida, Julie. As we're going to continue to track this, we are watching a cold front. It is slowly inching its way further south. As it kind of just fizzles out, it's going to allow some cooler air to come in, but not just yet. So we've got a cold front. A low will develop off that cold front over the East Coast, and that's going to drag in another day of rain tomorrow before we can finally sit back and really enjoy this weather. But in the meantime, though, we are going to continue to keep things pretty tropical in nature with some scattered showers still in the forecast. All right, let's get to your radar tour. You can see Ormond Beach through Port Orange, seeing some of those fast-moving showers. Crescent City areas in and around Pearson, moving into areas of Northern Lake and Marion County, down through Lake Helen, Deltona, about to see a couple of the scattered showers. Some more of those scattered showers will be approaching you guys for another round in areas in and around Eustis, Leesburg, Coleman, Bushnell. We talked about you guys just a few minutes ago, starting to see that rain rolling in. And there's going to be more rain rolling in right now over areas of northern Brevard County, and now moving into areas of Seminole County, Bithlo, Port St. John, those scattered showers. So really the moral of the story here is making sure that you have the rain gear with you, a quick umbrella, because the rain is not going to last very long, but when it comes down, it will be coming down pretty heavy. Same setup right now in areas in and around Kissimmee, moving into Davenport and Haines City. Now, Daytona Beach Skycam, it looks rough out there. Not so much the rain is causing the issues, it's the wind-driven hazards that are going to continue to cause some problems. We have higher than normal high tides. It's full moon, spring tides. That's what we call king tides. They run a little higher than average. Then we have that strong breeze that hasn't really let loose for the last couple of days, and because of that, it has a firm grip on the coast, and that's why we're going to continue to see those issues. 83 degrees right now in Daytona Beach. Notice the winds right now, 25. There's barely a beach out there. By the way, high tide was still about 2 hours ago, so things should start to move back out and kind of recede a little bit along our beaches. But the wind gusts over the next couple of hours will continue to clock between 25 to 30 miles per hour. But again, it's that wind-driven issue that is creating the coastal flood watch. We also have a high surf advisory that starts up tonight and will continue into the weekend. So the coastal flood watch also sticks around through Saturday night. All of Flagler, coastal Volusia, and coastal Brevard County remain under this watch, as some minor to moderate beach erosion will be possible, as well as the potential of some road closures due to some flooded roadways. But now let's check on that hour-by-hour forecast for your Thursday.
Sponsored by Strata Air Conditioning and Heating. AC emergency, you ought to call Strata.
Our highs today back in the upper 80s, scattered rain. It will be breezy at times. And then after we get through Friday's weather forecast, that's when weather will really start to settle in. So let's show you what that coverage will look like for the next 2 days. For your Thursday afternoon, again, fast-moving showers certainly will be a possibility, even late into the evening tonight. But then a low will start to develop, bringing in and kind of spiraling in some of those heavier downpours overnight tonight. So don't be surprised tomorrow morning if some of the roadways are a bit on the wet side. But then notice even into Friday afternoon, we will still see some rain around. Then conditions will start to improve as that low pulls away. You can kind of see it here on our mid-level moisture map. There goes that low, and as it peels away, it will drag in some drier air, which will be making it feel so nice as we head really into Sunday, Monday. That's really the most noticeable cool down. Highs are going to stay in the 80s, lows down into the 60s. Coolest stretch we've seen since about mid-May, so certainly make plans to be outside and enjoy it, especially on Sunday. But again, still a bit on the warm, humid, rainy side on Thursday and Friday.
Candace, thank you. The Labor Department is reporting it's concerned about a potential food supply shortage. Coming up, why they say the current policy on immigration is leading to the scarcity. We'll leave you with a live look over downtown Orlando from our Light Orlando Delivering Hope Together camera. You're watching News 6 at noon. We'll be right back. If you can't find your favorite foods, immigration policy could be to blame. The Labor Department reports restricting new migrants and deporting current ones has led to a labor shortage. It goes on to say that shortage has increased the risk of, quote, supply shock-induced food shortages. The Secretary of Agriculture previously suggested that 34 million Americans on Medicaid could fill many of the jobs left vacant by immigrants. The Labor Department disagrees, saying it doesn't think unemployed or underemployed Americans want those jobs. Have you checked out our all-new primetime lineup on News 6 Extra? Matt and Ginger have a new take on the day's news on News 6 tonight. That's at 9. Then go in-depth as we track the tropics and answer your weather questions with meteorologist Jonathan Kagas at 9:30. Then watch the late news an hour earlier. It's all tonight on News 6 Plus. Download our streaming app for free. Search WKMG in your smart TV's app store. It's also available on Roku, Apple TV, and Fire TV. We'll be right back. Now to a gorgeous sight in New Mexico as hundreds of hot air balloons take to the sky. It was all part of the Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta yesterday. That is stunning. The Flight of Nations took place in the morning, honoring international pilots as they took off one at a time. Each hot air balloon had the respective flags of their country attached to the baskets. Representatives from 12 countries took part in the event. That looks incredible.
It's one of my bucket list things,
Yeah.
Go watch all the hot air balloons, but one day.
Maybe next year.
Maybe next year.
Yes.
I mean, and over there, the weather's also so beautiful this time of the year too. So it's a double whammy. All right, let's talk about the weather forecast. The weather will start getting better as we head into really Sunday, Monday, and into early next week. But for the most part, fast-moving, speedy showers in the forecast today. Some heavier downpours will be possible on Friday. A tropical low could develop off our cold front. That could be bringing us some more rain. We have some issues along our beaches, but again, everything should start to improve by next week.
Sounds good. Candace, thank you.
You're welcome.
Switch over to the News 6 Plus streaming app or click Orlando.com to watch News 6 Extra. Have a great day.